Canadian foreign policy making, shaped by interests or values. I am going to be using the negotiation of a free trade agreement with the European Union in answering this concept. Canada has been a strong advocate of free trade for years. Canada has also been an important partner and supporter of trade to the European Union. As a result, Canada has made it in their personal interest to strengthen economic and trade relationships with the EU. On the 18th of October 2013, the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, made a public announcement regarding the Canada-EU trade agreement stating that Canada and the European Union have reached an agreement in principle on a comprehensive economic and trade agreement (CETA). The Canada-EU trade agreement is aimed at boosting trade and investment ties between Canada and the European Union. Moreover, for the European Union, being Canada's second-largest trading partners in goods and services, a treaty would help eliminate issues such as tariffs, the many barriers on trade and investments and mobility. Consequently, an agreement would grant large numbers of Canadian-based manufacturers, entrepreneurs, professionals, investors and service providers access to the millions of people situated within the EU. The EU also benefits from the trade in the sense that they face eliminated tariffs on exports including clothing, cheese, wine, dairy products, and many others, stated CTV News reporters, whom also claimed they also gain access to billions of government procurement dollars at the provincial and municipal levels. The benefits of the Canada-EU Free Trade Agreement is to, number 1, increase the annual real income gain of approximately €11.6 billion for the European Union, and €8.2 billion for Canada within 7 years, following the implementation of an agreement. Number 2. The total European Union exports to Canada are estimated to go up by 24.3% or €17 billion, while Canada bilateral exports to the European Union are predicted to increase by 20.6% or €8.6 billion. Number 3. New opportunities will arise for both European and Canadian companies in the service sectors. Number 4. Both countries will gain from increased access to the respective public procurements market, and all sub-federal levels of government in Canada will be open to European companies to engage in tenders.
A truly historic occasion. It is the first time that the European Union agrees a trade agreement with a G8 country, and it will also be the biggest trade agreement of Canada ever. This is also a landmark achievement for the transatlantic economy and a stepping stone to an integrated transatlantic market, something I've been advocating for a long time, and I'm proud that this Commission is taking the necessary steps in that direction. This agreement will boost our trade and investment relations and will contribute to generate more growth and jobs in the European Union and Canada. Once implemented, according to independent studies, it is expected to increase two-way bilateral trade in goods and services by 23%, around €26 billion. The overall benefits of the agreement are expected to raise the level of the European Union's annual GDP by approximately €12 billion a year.
This is a big deal. Indeed, it is the biggest deal our country has ever made. This is a historic win for Canada. It means access for Canadian businesses to 500 million affluent customers, and thus to thousands of jobs for Canadians. This provides the Canadian economy with free trade access to a market that is bigger than NAFTA. And in scope, this agreement is, by far, the most ambitious trade partnership that Canada has ever negotiated, covering not just goods, but also services, labour mobility, investment, procurement, including subnational procurement, and many regulatory matters.
Though the benefits of the free trade agreement outweighs the disadvantages, a number of Canadian business owners, most especially domestic farmers, do not see the aim or need for the agreement, because it impedes on their production, thus affecting them financially. They argue that the CETA is an assault on labour, the environment, and other social concerns, especially on national sovereignty, without a valuable economic effect. Under CETA, Canada will lengthen the time drugs remain under patent, which is expected to drive up already high Canadian pharmaceutical drug costs by more than $850 million a year. CETA also gives multinational corporations unprecedented rights to bid on public contracts, which will weaken provincial and municipal agencies' ability to buy locally and pursue other environmental and socially minded policies. In conclusion, the Canadian government sees the Canada-EU Free Trade Agreement as beneficial to their economic growth, and the benefits of the agreement outweighing the cons, making it in their interest to succeed on signing the agreement, thus solidifying my initial notion on Canadian foreign policies. Canadian foreign policy making tends to be shaped by interests, and are made according to values. Considering the type of policy to be made, Canada does not shy from its values, thus shaping their foreign policies to their interest, still making these policies in accordance with Canada's principles and values. What I am implying here is that Canada tends to make foreign policies which are often shaped by Canadian interests, and such is evident in Canada's withdrawal from the Kyoto Accord. Canada's decision to withdraw from the Kyoto Accord falls on the notion of interest. This is because Canada's decision to withdraw would save the government an estimated $14 billion in penalties, says Peter Kent,